What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Yesterday, yesterday there was a comment left on one of my videos, one of my prison videos, right? And the person said something along the lines of, for me to let my mind parole already, right? And there's some people that do leave comments like that, that I'm still stuck in jail, I'm trapped in prison and all this stuff, right? And so let me talk about why I talk about prison, okay? I do a lot of other things, but it used to mainly be all prison stuff, right, on this channel. Now, the reason why, I've said it a gang of times. I'm talking about my life. If I would have grew up on the streets, became a professional, in whatever field, then my content would be about that, because that would be my life. But because I was incarcerated for the majority of my life experiences, the way I see the world is based on my life experiences in my past, right? More importantly is this. Hollywood could make a movie, right? And they can make a movie about prison. They're going to start on the streets with some gangbangers. Something happened. Then you have the prison scenes and something happens. But the problem is, what really happens is you have kids, you have teenagers, you have people, period, that go to those type of movies, right? When they walk out of that movie theater, they got their chest pumped out. And now they have a dream, a fantasy. Because that movie that they just watched glamorized a certain lifestyle that nobody who was in that movie or made that movie knows anything about. Me, on the other hand, I tell real life stories, share real life experiences behind those walls, and I plant a seed in people's hearts and minds. I let them know the reality, the brutality, the ugliness of what it is to live in that lifestyle. And a lot of people tell me, hey, man, I show those to my nephews. Hey, I show them to my sons. I show them to my grandson. I get comments, I get DMs from people telling me that they were able to change their lives because they don't want to live that type of lifestyle. So, for the small minority of people who see my content and they think that after 8 years of freedom and being a productive member of society for 8 years, over 8 years, that somehow I'm infatuated with prison, you're not getting the message. Something in you doesn't allow you to see my content for what it really is. And, it is what it is. That's an impediment to knowledge. The lessons that I teach or the lessons that I share, these things can be applied in every aspect of life, not just prison. People have asked me, what was the hardest thing adjusting to on the streets? The disrespect. In prison, you're not going to be loose with your lips. You're not going to be frivolous with your words. You're going to be very respectful in your interactions and dealings with people. Because if you're not, the results are deadly, violent, physical. And then you come out here and people don't live by those rules. They don't have to, right? In prison, you see somebody, hey, good morning. Hey, buenos días. Hey, good afternoon. How you doing? And out here, People ignore each other. They'll cut each other off. You know, when I drive, I always trip out. I always say, damn, these people drive like they were in prison for 24 years. But anyways, that's like my main thing when I got back out here was the disrespect of people. Even a grocery store. People just reach right across in front of you. In prison, you're not talking over somebody's tray. You're not reaching over somebody's food. I said it before. It's a very brutal, ugly place. And it's still probably the most respectful place you could ever be. Because of the penalties. And so I talk about different things, and I enjoy when I see comments from people that tell me, hey, I've learned some lessons watching your videos. And somebody the other day told me that in hearing how the politics can run in prison, they've learned how to use that in their work environment. Because we all know there's workplace politics. You pick a side, you inherit other people's problems. And I'll hear people out here talk about at work, so-and-so said this and this and that. And I'm just like, and you answered? Like, you took a side. You know that, right? Like, you don't take a side. For what? And so I just wanted to address that for those of you that don't get why I talk about prison. You guys seen I've been trying to do true crime and other things because I really am burnt out on prison. Been burnt out on prison for a very long time. But I think it's very, very important for those of us who live that lifestyle to tell the truth. Imagine if every story you had about prison came from Hollywood and Wes Watson. Wes Watson talks about prisons he's never been in, as if he was there. He talks about being in the shoe. He was never in the shoe. And so he glamorized for years that lifestyle. Now look at him. It's honestly sad thing to look at. A sad thing. I saw him on IG the other day, and he's in a multi-million-dollar vehicle, and it's got all these fancy little things on the top that look like stars, and he's playing reggaeton, and he's putting diamond necklaces over his head, and he has his head down the whole time, and then he starts doing prison sign language. You never see that man smile. You never see him happy. You never see him laugh. He's surrounded himself with people he can't trust because they're there for something, not for him. That's an empty existence. That's listening. Again, if you just had his prison stories and Hollywood, you would think prison's a fun place to be. It can get wild, but you can become somebody. People will look up to you. Who's going to look up to you? The guys behind them prison walls don't look up to nobody at all. So I'll continue to tell my prison stories from time to time. I'll continue dabbling in other things. But at the end of the day, my intentions are good. And hopefully, I get somebody to want to do something better with their lives. That's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.
Welcome to Vario Liquors, home of the coldest beer in the 209. Chilled to a perfect 32 degrees. From mix and go drink kits to both classic and exotic spirits, we've got something for everyone. Visit us at 1870 Countryside Drive, Turlock, California. Catch you at the Vario.